tapping my own phone. I'm going straight. Bought myself a flat top haircut so stiff I could carry a tray of martinis, waiting on people, someone to open up her purse and give me a tip, cause I don't have a clue anymore as to what's going on, but I do know that I'm one step ahead, tapping my own phone to hear myself talking with people who used to be my friends, listening so I can correct myself before they do. And I've got a surveillance camera in my abandoned car across the street watching myself, replaying the tape so I can see if I'm acting funny before they catch me doing something I shouldn't. Like yesterday, I spotted myself walking too fast and I heard myself talking too loud. Yes, I got the deep fear, paranoia, anxiety, despair, and suicide blues, but I'm making sure I don't do nothing else wrong, cause I done screwed up so many times I corner myself into a backstreet dead-end alley of paranoia, and every time I hear an airplane or helicopter or car door slam, I know the Secret Service, the FBI, and the IRS SWAT teams have finally arrived, cause I published a poem by the President of the United States of America without his fully conscious permission, and I'm sure I haven't paid enough taxes because I've got no income, yet somehow I keep on doing things like eating every once in a while and paying a light bill or two. But how do I do it? They're going to ask, what's the source of your income and how come you don't come to see us anymore? So yes, I've become a little jumpy, but I'm staying one step ahead, tapping my own phone, videotaping my every move, watching myself day and night, replaying the tapes, because I got a bad case of the deep fear, paranoia, anxiety, despair, and suicide blues. Shithouse Manifesto. Poets, come out of your toilets. You've been holed up too long playing with yourselves, with your waste. You're wasting away. All olfactory sensations dead. What with your head now situated on your posterior, one-eyed cyclopean peering down into midnight, bottom of the outhouse, and it's time to throw away the corn cobs and Sears catalogs and walk back out into the barnyards, the open pastures of the world where animals and people and flowers still bloom, where the sun still shines through the moon at midnight, in that other world you've lost until now. It's high time to wake up, pull your sad face and every other hanging down part of you out of that stinking forlorn lost world. You'll be fertilizer soon enough. For now it's time to reconstruct who you are, your life. Time to check out the Amnesia Motel and get back on the highway 61 or 66 or 69 and finally say goodbye to those lonesome lost blue pieces of who you used to be, and say hello to this yellow sunrise post-world where the crows are grinning and the morning glories sing.
Come on, brother.
I like that Sky pointed out that poetry is wide open.
Yes, sir.
It's for everybody, and you can choose whichever way to go you want to go with your poems. And so I write all kinds of stuff. I go where inspiration takes me. So I write love poems, I write political poems, I write mystical poems, zen poems. The autumn sun shines through the red leaves. The autumn sun shines through the red leaves of the burning bush at sunset, holding the world together. Your gentle tears of compassion, of love have saved me so many times when I knew I was gone. The sweet sound of your voice and the crow's rusty call are one. We are frogs croaking in the pond. We are crickets chirping in the meadow. All sound in time becomes song. The autumn sun shines through the red leaves of the burning bush at sunset, holding the world together. There are times at night. I crossed the desert, the indigenous lands I've crossed so many times before, warmed by the not too distant wolf song. When I reach my hidden cottage, I paint love poems on a tall, womanly vase, color her naked with Isis head. Times at night, I put down the words and play my violin, accompany the wolf. Comes wind, weaves the night, violin, wolf song. Comes wind, weaves the night, violin, wolf song. Together we sing, the wolf, the wind, the violin, and me. Love, oh love, is more than a four-letter word. Love, my love, come home. Love, my love, come home. My love, come home, come home. Home, the wolf becomes an echo, drifting further and further away into no sound but the wind in my whispered song. I wear this body, dwell in this temple briefly. I am a short-lived, temporary sun worshiper, a pale blue stroke of paint on the canvas of Georgia O'Keeffe's pink and blue. My embroidered words covering petals of flowers, flowers in love. The soft wind carries us to the end of the night. I grew up on a wild nature farm in western Kentucky. I come from a long line of farmers, coal miners, and strong women. I'm proud of my roots. I hope everybody, each and every one of you, will embrace your roots. That's how I found my voice as a poet and a writer, was to drift back to my earliest memories in my life and write those memories down. And I began to remember that it all wasn't bad. There were good memories in there. Love from family, from nature, from friends. I lived in Iceland for 2 years, and I climbed the legendary Viking Mountain in Iceland, and I produced a big festival over there with Iceland's leading novelist. And at the top of the mountain, there was a blizzard came out of nowhere, and several people have been blown off to their deaths. I was almost blown off 3 times, but I wasn't. I held on to a big boulder at the top, and finally made my way down. When I got down and got back to Olafur Gunnarsson's house, I wrote this poem, the Storm Generation Manifesto. We tip our hats to the lost and the beat. We go our own way. We are the storm generation. We are the storm. We are a new generation of artists. We are poets, writers, painters, sculptors, composers, musicians, singers, dancers, playwrights, photographers, filmmakers. We are creative expression. We blow away lies and injustice. We are graphic. We are honest. We tell it like it is. We are fierce. We are brutal. We are compassionate. We are gentle. We are kind. We have soft hearts. We are free. We are spirit. We are sex. We dwell in the realms of the creative imagination. We are the creative imagination. We know that the shortest distance between 2 points is creative distance. We pay attention to the long-forgotten wisdom voices of the forest. We vanquish the overtly materialistic, greedy, who intentionally destroy mountains. We honor mountains and oceans and eagles and wolves. We cherish Mother Earth and all her terrible beauty. We are non-violent spiritual warriors. We are lightning. We are thunder. We are song poems. We are fearless visionary poets. We have wolf eyes. We are more than the eye of the storm. We are the storm. We refuse. We will not bow down. We will never give up. We are God's open nerve. We are the storm generation. The storm, the storm, the storm. This one is a short one. Shooting up poetry in New Orleans. Thank you. Near the levee, A maroon Hudson sedan driven by Neil Cassidy pulls up to a dilapidated old house with tall grass and weeping willows in the yard. It's 509 Wagner Street, Algiers, the home of William S. Burroughs. Neil, Jack Kerouac, Al Hinkle, and Louis Ann Henderson arrive from the road to spend a few days with Burroughs. Burroughs rarely goes out except to make his connection. He invites Kerouac to try his Oregon accumulator. Burroughs says, sit inside and you'll absorb life principle atoms right out of the atmosphere. He attempts to convince Kerouac into abandoning his road trip with Cassidy. Years later, I'm in New Orleans, standing outside the Howlin' Wolf Club. I'm here to produce yet another Beat Generation spirited 48-hour non-stop music and poetry insomniacathon, and I've been burning up the road day and night with no end in sight. I'm feeling burnt out, tired to the bone, so I'm searching for a fix of poetry to shoot into my blood, to rejuvenate my spirit. I'm calling on Bill Burroughs and Jack Kerouac and Neil Cassidy, but I haven't found my Oregon accumulator, my new poetry yet, and my head is hanging so low it's dragging the ground. I've known nothing but failure lately, and I've been burning up the candle at both ends so long. There's nothing left of me but smoke and ashes, so I'm wondering if the time has finally arrived for me to become cinder for that long-distance, never-ending railroad track to nowhere. My spirit screams out for help, and in a flash, I hear Allen Ginsberg whisper, take a hand, share the word, and out of the blue, the poetry gospel starts flowing through my groin and my gut and my heart and my head, and my, oh my, I jump and shout and sing. Yes, right here in front of the Howlin' Wolf Club, I'm grabbed hold of by the poetry spirit, and now someone's singing and banging on a piano, so I open the door and peek in, and lo and behold, there's Dr. John doing double note crossovers and over and unders. He's doing his ooh la mala walla and zoo zoo ya ya. He's playing and speaking in tongues right here in the middle of the holy New Orleans afternoon. And out of the blue, I find the poetry I've been looking for. I look up, and there's the full moon smiling at me from over the Mississippi River, and I think of Algiers and Bill Burroughs and Jack Kerouac and Neil Cassidy, and I think of Neil's flame, gone, gone, gone. His naked body lying there beside those long-distance, never-ending railroad tracks to nowhere. And I hope all the poets and musicians performing at this 48-hour non-stop music and poetry insomniacathon, hell, I hope all of us keep the fame, the funk, keep the flame alive. Don't let the system break you. Don't let life break you. And I hear Dr. John playing that piano and singing his boogie-woogie into the world blues. And in that moment, I know my reward is in the experience of poetry. And right here, right now, I'm in New Orleans with all these poets and musicians who somehow know the magical power of poetry. The word sets us free. And I think about Allen Ginsberg and what he said about taking somebody's hand, because we're all in this together. We're pulling, we ain't pushing, we're letting it be. We realize that when one of us is lifted up, we're all lifted up. And I realize that poetry is life, and life is poetry. And I feel an energy rising through me, growing strong, coming from poets and musicians of all ages. And I don't feel like failure anymore. I feel good, I feel strong, I feel reborn into poetry, into life. It feels like resurrection, rebirth into poetry right here, right now, shooting up poetry in New Orleans. That's it for me. Thank you all.